Hello, so today we're back here for another speed build, and today we're going to go ahead and create this home called a modern oasis. So if you'd like to go ahead and download this for yourself, it is up in the gallery now. My origin ID is real Thomas TV1, and there should be a link in the description to the gallery kind of online page if that's an easier way for you to go ahead and access this build. So this home is just a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom home, and actually the bedroom is kind of like the full upstairs of the build. It's not like a sectioned off room, it's kind of the full floor. So it's sort of like a loft sort of build, I guess you could call it, but not really though, because it doesn't really have like a mezzanine level or anything looking down. And you kind of see what I mean later once I get onto that, but if I had to describe it as something, that's probably what I would say. And yeah, so this home is, well, as the name implies, kind of modern. I was just in the mood to do this kind of modern build. I had this kind of reference picture just saved for a long time. I was going to get around to it at some point, but I never did. And I thought, you know what, I'm in the mood to build something. I'm not really too sure what, and I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of the way so it's not sitting on my page for this long. So this is what we're doing today. Now, I didn't kind of, replicate it fully, so I'm not going to put the picture in. I do this a lot of the time. If I find like a reference picture, these days I just tend to kind of look at it to kind of get a starting point, because when it comes to struggling and build for me, it always seems to be just getting it started, like the first, room, the first wall, or something like that. It always seems to be that I have a problem with, if I do have a problem with a build. So when I use reference pictures, that's really all I do, and then I end up just doing my own thing for it. So I guess, it's kind of very different from this photo that I kind of followed, but it kind of gave me an idea for the shape and the roofing, so that's what I did for this build. So I guess you can probably tell what the word Oasis comes from is because it's in Oasis Springs. I never really build in this world actually. I sometimes build on the 50 by 50 lot here where the land grab household is, but that is really pretty much it that I've done recently. So if you have any more ideas of what I could do in Oasis Springs, then let me know, because I mean, if you can kind of think of something that's more of like a mansion theme, because as you probably know, that's kind of what I like to build most often, is bigger homes. So if you have an idea of what I could do for a bigger home in Oasis Springs, then let me know, as that'd be really helpful to hear. And yeah, so this video is on the shorter side. It's only about 8 minutes long actually. Because this build probably took me about like 40 minutes in total to do, which is no time at all, and is kind of the case for these smaller builds these days. So for the inside, like I said, is also modern, and I kind of incorporated a little bit of colour because it is very kind of just black and white, very plain. So as you can see with that couch there, or sofa, whatever you call it, I did go ahead and change the colour of it up just to kind of make it stand out a little bit more and add a little bit to this room. And then the bedroom is actually purple. Now, I do that a lot actually. I just tend to. Now, the reason I do it is because when we've got seasons, we've got a lot of items that kind of fit around the purple well. So we've got 2 beds which had a nice colour purple swatch to them, and I think both of those beds have 2 different purple colour swatches as well. I've also got some curtains which are in purple as well, and a few other things. And I just, since then, I've always seemed to include a purple bedroom in my builds. I don't know why, well, that's why. So that's kind of what I did for this build, is use that in the season's bed. There's also a study in this build as well, so you'll see that shortly, which is that room at the back there, as you can see, behind the kitchen. And then also there is just 1 bathroom as well. And yeah, so let me know if you have any background, well, that doesn't really make sense, any kind of sim that you might think would live here, what their background could be, as that'd be kind of nice to hear. And yeah, so we're just decorating the kitchen now, as you can see. There wasn't really the space to do a dining room. If the house was a little bit bigger, then yeah, probably I could, but for the size of the house that it is, I just went ahead and put some bar stools in, because there's 3 bar stools there. This home really, if you just count the bedrooms, it's only going to be a maximum of 2 sims really, so that's all I did. But if you need extra space, then there is a little bit of room there next to the door, and also as well, you've got the couches which sims normally sit on sometimes as well to eat, so there's no problem there really. So this kitchen is actually pretty decent size as well, and also the island space which gives more space to cook and stuff, so that's great. And like you can see, we'll also put like a bar in there too in the living room area to kind of use up that little bit of room there next to the window. So I imagine maybe, younger people might live here who have parties a lot or something, and maybe they kind of work from home. That's kind of what I was thinking about because of this study here as well, because I thought that the house is pretty small, but then to have like a decently sized study, I feel like that's kind of a thing that might stand out a lot in this house for the person that lives here. So maybe they could be some sort of freelance worker, maybe like in the social media career, or even like a like the influencer or something like that. that. So now working on the bedroom, as I said before, this is kind of takes up the full space of the upstairs. I mean, apart from the bathroom as well. But it is a pretty nice space here as well, and it has lots of nice windows with those modern windows, just the base game ones, add a lot of light into this room as well, and yeah, so also those little saucer lights that are kind of on the ceiling, I never really use those. I know that's kind of the most common light that people use in game, I feel like, especially from what speed builds I watch, is kind of they use those lights and size them down, but I always go for the other ones, which are still 150 simoleons like this one, but we got them added in an update a little while ago. I can't remember when, it was sometime last year, but I believe we got like 3 different ones. It was like this sort of like a circly cream, like white colour one. And we've got like a square one and a circle one as well, and the square one has some patterns on it. I can't exactly remember, but they're all 150 simoleons, but I always tend to go for that one instead. I don't know why, but everybody else seems to use that one. Anyway, so this lot is very small. I think it's 20 by 15 or 20 by 20 or something, so there isn't really any space outside, but I did go ahead and make the porchway a little bit bigger, and kind of, not really a wraparound porch, but it kind of wraps around to the side a little bit, I guess you could say, but it takes up like the front of the build, and I just put some seating areas there as well, and also one of the fireplace coffee tables. There's a barbecue there, and also an outdoor heater warmer thing from Dine Out. I never really use those, to be honest, in these smaller homes. It's always for my mansion builds when it's like, you know, a nice big pool area, seating areas, a hot tub. Sometimes in the gazebos that I do my mansion builds, I sometimes put one of those in, but I never really use them anywhere else, so it's kind of nice to include that. So we just put a little fireplace there, sorry, well, yeah, there's a fireplace inside, but a chimney there that we're just building, and I always tend to build my own these days sometimes if I find like a blank wall, which is actually a rarity in my builds, because I always seem to put way too many windows in. It's hard to kind of fit a fireplace in, and then I also build up my own chimneys sometimes too, but yes, that's the end of this speed build. I really hope you enjoyed. In the comment section down below, let me know about what you thought of it. If you have any more ideas for builds you want to see next, then let me know as well. Leave a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!